Oh, there we are. Hello. Can you all hear me okay? I'm hoping that the audio is all good. Welcome. We are we are going live. This is the second game in our 72-hour run of games. I'm Cole, and we will be playing The Finest. Do y'all want to introduce yourselves? I guess my name is Cole, and I use they, them pronouns. This is my first time playing The Finest. And I guess maybe we'll introduce ourselves and then explain a little bit about the stream and the donations, and then we'll get into the game. Does that sound good?
That
Yeah,
sounds
sounds
good to
good.
me.
Yes.
All right. Well, whoever is next, go next.
Okay then. I'm HB. I go by they them pronouns, and yeah, that's me. I also designed this game.
Hell yeah.
I'm Faye. I also use they, them pronouns. And yeah, this is also my first time playing this game.
Hell yeah.
Hello, my name's Ada. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Recombinatrix, and you can find my new game, Yeet or Beat, which I released yesterday at recombinatrix.itch.io.
God, that name is so
You should get
good.
it.
It's so good.
I'm very proud of it.
Absolutely amazing. So yeah, this is the stream is Roll Plus Bond. We're kind of a small but growing Discord community that started off as a Friends of the Table fan community where we all just were like, hey, we want to play games together and we need a place to do that. So we sort of made that, and then people have been joining, and it's been a really great community. I know a lot of people have spoken about being able to try out games that they never thought they would be able to. Some people were able to play more games than just like Dungeons and Dragons, for example. It's been a really nice community to be involved in. And then this is so March 3rd is the first anniversary of the server. So we decided to do a stream, which became went from a 12-hour stream to a 24-hour stream to a 72-hour stream. So we're really excited. And we decided to raise money for Rises. I apologize if my pronunciation is not the best, but Rises is how I heard a lot of people say it. And they do a lot of really good legal work for people who are immigrating into the United States, doing casework, working with children, making sure that people are not being stuck in the system and not having representation where they're being deported or in detention facilities. So we are encouraging people to go to the link and donate to this really great cause, because why not try to do some good in the world while also playing some games with cool people, right?
That seems like a great idea.
Yeah, might as well. It sounds like a great idea. So yeah, we would encourage, I think the total is at 288 right now, which is absolutely wild and amazing. I went to sleep and then that happened. So thank you all for anyone who has donated. Yeah, so do you want to kind of go over or explain a little bit about your game? Like intro your game?
Yeah.
Or do you want to just play it? So it's up to you.
I guess we could intro it a little bit. So
Yeah.
The thing about The Finest is you ever play in the play by post game and the GM just says like, okay, so you made your characters and you get into a room and you just go wild. You just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of like what if that game was live, and what if there was no GM to tell you to do anything.
Yep.
And then it all turns into a kind of absurdist theater thing, and it's all very good fun. You get to wait in a room together as different you get to wait in a room together, but you get to wait in a room as different characters, so it's fun and interesting.
I love waiting in rooms.
Nothing to
it
be
actually
done.
sounds amazing. Yeah, it sounds great. So a little bit beforehand, we at least came up obviously with a couple characters, some names, pronouns, and things. Do we want to go over? So also we have some safety techniques. Always at your table, it's a good idea to put in some safety techniques and some breaks. So we're going to be doing that as well. Yeah.
So yeah, the safety technique we will be using for this stream is the script change, which basically means that we can pause, which is to say people can go like, okay, let's pause this for a second, then be like, yeah, let's talk about this before we proceed.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is stop, which is that we stop what we're doing and disengage for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's merited, then we carefully re-engage with the in game or stop entirely. Then there's
Mm-hmm.
also, of course, there's the rewind, which is let's walk this back for a little bit, and fast
Mm-hmm.
forward, which is let's not focus on this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's one thing, and then we also have lines and veils.
Right. We did establish some lines and veils ahead of time. Do we want to go over them? We don't have
Yeah.
to, but it might be good if you want to refresh.
Well, we might want to be like, we might want to explain that, for example, the intended tone here is PG-13, which is, easy on the violence. Don't do much intimate stuff. You get exactly one swear.
Ooh! Oh, there's a swear count. I love swear counts. Oh my goodness.
God, that's gonna be the hardest part of this the whole time.
I'm either gonna do
I'm
0 swears or
very
like
stressed about
15.
that.
So yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'll go into full like child teacher mode and I will lend somebody my swear if you'd like. I'll try my best.
It's theoretically not that hard to swear. It's just that you eventually get used to it and you can't really stop.
That's true. True.
Look,
So,
I feel
yeah.
it would be very in character for my character to take you up on that offer, so I'll gladly take your swear. It's mine now.
Please,
Thanks.
please take my swear. You can have +1 swear. I have boosted you. Oh, do we want to explain the game a little bit that we are preparing for?
I think that's probably a good idea.
Mm-hmm. So part of the cool thing about this stream is that it's a good way to kind of show people how one shots kind of go, where it's sometimes it can be a little bit bumpy. It can be like, oh, what does this rule say? What does that rule say? And that's totally fine and totally normal in a game. So just a heads up, especially when you're trying to learn a new game. But so the finest, there will be no music. Is
such a good name.
It is such a good name. Is basically, so like you said, it's waiting. So, but it's waiting. It's a good game to lead into another game. And so you can choose what game your characters are basically waiting to play. And in our case, we chose The King is Dead, which is D. Vincent Baker. And how do you say this name? Megui?
Megway?
I'm really bad at
I think it's Megway, but I'm not sure.
Megway.
What's
okay.
a Megway?
No, the worst. It is a
You're gonna just
firebrand.
make me use my swear immediately.
Oh no, yeah, no, just you get 2. You can't use it for that. But The King is Dead is basically a game where the king is dead, and then people from different houses are typically vying for power in a firebrandsy sort of way. So this would be, yeah, our characters are from the various houses in The King is Dead, which I find pretty cool. Did you want to read some of the beginning of your game, HB?
Yeah, maybe maybe not right now. Maybe let's first introduce the characters.
Oh, sure. Who would like to start?
I'll start. I'll be playing Victoria Evermore. She is of House Entire, and the attractive quality I've chosen for myself is Steadfast. Should I also introduce the house? Read the description, or
Oh no, need. You could just kind of say it in your own words. I feel like.
yeah. So House Entire, from what I remember vaguely, is basically a collection of tribes that were here long before the other houses, and they have a lot of rituals and stuff, and they believe they are the god-chosen heir to the throne now. They're also pretty violent, by the way.
But
I like how dainty your avatar looks.
it's so
Yeah,
good.
you know.
Contrasted with you are expected to hold an unslakable bloodthirst.
Yeah, I kind of picked the house, and then I created the character, but forgot about the house. But yeah,
It totally works.
Well, listen, you can have an unslakable bloodthirst while still looking good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
still
It's
killing
really
it.
good for your skin, apparently.
Oh my god.
I can go
who's that?
next.
Yeah,
If I can remember my character's name. I'm playing Hale Harper, who is a scion of House Sandorial. She is listed as being educated. She's very highly educated, you guys. She gave a TED Talk once.
Wow.
wow.
So House Sandorial are the usurpers. And 4 generations ago, we had the crown, and we don't have it anymore. And we would like to have it again. So I've just kind of seen an opportunity here, and I've decided that maybe I could be queen. Perhaps Hale is queen.
Wow. Maybe.
And I don't want to get too much into it, but I just want you all to know that she sucks.
Great.
You can't be great if you're gonna be king or queen.
Mhm.
All kings are bad. Indeed.
It is the nature of the beast.
Worst kings.
Shall I go?
Yeah, I can also go. So I'm going to be playing Crisbin van Schraap, who answers to he, him, his pronouns, and he's from House Lunest, which are the noble house of Resh. Crisbin himself is the prince of Resh in particular, and he's accomplished at arms and has basically just fought his way up through a noble house. And enjoys quite a bit of prestige and has now been sent on his most dangerous mission yet, which is to go to a different continent and become king there.
Wow.
So you're a tourist.
Well, no, I do have a claim. There's enough intermarriage that I can kind of I have a real or fabricated claim, but it is a claim.
Sure.
I have a good argument on why I should be king, aside from I can hit things good.
The best. Okay. So I'm pronouncing this Jaziel. I'm sure there's other ways to pronounce it, but I'm pronouncing this Jaziel of the Immortal Flock. They use they them pronouns. They're of the house Dillstone? I'm never sure if that E is supposed to be enunciated or not.
Well, it's your house. I think you get to decide.
Then I'm gonna make it Dillstone because it's easier.
Listen, this is like based on old noble houses, and they're basically back then spelling hadn't been invented yet.
It's probably Dillstone, but you know. But I like Dillstone. It's fine.
It could be
the
Delaystone.
Delay stone. Wow, that's fancy. House. Oh no, now I have 3 different pronunciations in my head. I'm still gonna go with Dillstone though. House Dillstone is the royal house. The family has been ruling for 3 generations. Basically related to the king that is dead. And yeah, they're poised to be the regent of a child king. And yeah, the house is wealthy, well ordered, and holds to it says high formal standards of honor, grace, chivalry, and faith. And my attractive quality that I chose was courteous, which I think I spelled correctly after my second try.
Okay. So after this introduction, what the King is Dead also prescribes that we do is that we also kind of go around the table and assign attractive qualities to the other characters.
Mhm.
So yeah, let me just pull up the list again.
I
The
really
chat
like
is
this
saying
mechanic.
crocodile dial. Dial like crocodile or delay. Apologies. I kind of like dial stone. Does dial stone work? My apologies for getting off
It could
track
be that
again.
the eel is silent. It could be that the eel is silent and it's just like the stone.
Oh, the stone. Amazing. I'll just never say the house. I'll never say my house.
The royal house.
The royal house, yeah. Circumvent the problem.
But yeah, so what do we so what kind of qualities do we want to give Jazeel?
Just see.
So Jazeel is courteous.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I'd say he's also devout. Oh, they're also devout. Sorry.
No. Yeah, devout. I got it. I will put it in. Oops.
They are definitely bold.
Ooh.
Devout.
I think they're good-hearted.
Thank you.
You're very good-hearted.
I have minus.
You're
I
not
have
suited to
0
rule,
swears.
but you're very
Oh, no.
good-hearted.
Oh no! The knives are out already.
Okay then, next up, Crispin.
Crispin.
I think Crispin is courageous.
Okay.
Coming over here and saying you can be king. That's very brave of you.
Listen, I can take this kingship off your hands if you don't need it.
Oh my god. Amazing.
I think Crispin is also practical.
That's a good word. I have lost. There they are. And there is no dashing, but I feel like there's no charm here either. Can we make our own?
I think it's
Or
probably.
should we stick to this?
I think it's probably because charming is a hard one to actually realize.
That's fair. I mean, widely traveled would make sense, but that's already inherent in the character that you are traveled. Maybe brash? Would you be brash?
Brash and courageous. That's a lethal combination.
It's great. I'm very
Also
happy
practical. That's
about it. And very, yeah, very. That's true.
Okay, Hill Harper.
Yeah, tell me about me. Tell me
yeah.
all of my fine qualities, please.
I think Hill is patient.
Hale is patient, educated and patient.
Mhm.
Let's
I like widely traveled.
Hale is
That's-
definitely widely traveled.
amazing.
Mhm.
I like that people talk about Hale and go like, what are her good qualities? She's widely traveled.
Yeah, no, that feels true to me.
I mean, in the time period, that would definitely be considered a like good quality, but
um, uh, you're educated, but I kind of want you to also be athletic. But that I don't know if that contradicts too much for you.
Oh, I think that's great.
Okay, I'm adding athletic to you then.
was part of the
Brilliant.
college football team, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's how I graduated so easily.
Amazing.
Listen, you got an education. It's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, Victoria Evermore.
Ooh.
We have Steadfast.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think Victoria Evermore is tall.
Hmm.
Ooh.
How do you feel about that? Is that all right?
That's all right. I mean, I'm tall in real life, so I know how it feels.
The pain of being tall.
Oh, yeah.
Can I be silly and ask a silly question?
No,
It's not
go
really a
ahead.
silly question. Steadfast is like, what's another good word for steadfast?
Um, determined, I
It's
think.
kind of,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's like splits the difference between determined and unyielding, I'd say.
Stalwart.
Yeah, stalwart.
And you
Okay.
can't spell stalwart without tall.
Ah, yes.
um. Hmm. Maybe. Are you also accomplished at arms? Maybe because of your house.
Sure.
Do that.
No, I need to write accomplished at arms.
Okay, yeah. Then I think we have all the attractive qualities
What
settled.
was yours, HP?
Oh yeah. Which one did you add?
Yeah.
For Victoria.
Oh, for Victoria Evermore. I forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot to add one. Let's see. I was looking at brooding.
Ooh.
Wow.
So she's steadfast, tall, brooding, and accomplished at arms.
Also
Wow.
tall.
Oh,
Oh,
very tall. Tall twice.
She looks very dainty, but
She's the tall of tall.
yep.
Amazing.
Got like one of those Dancer of the Boreal Valley builds.
Perfect. So yeah, I think that's characters.
And it's characters. So yeah. Time to introduce the finest. So let's see. So the finest is an enclosed space that your characters have reason to spend some time in, such as a tavern, a vehicle on a journey, a ramshackle shelter, a forsaken crag, or any liminal space of your choosing. So yeah, in this case, we were thinking some kind of backstage area at what is essentially King Eivor III's funeral.
Yep. So backstage at the funeral.
Backstage at the funeral.
In the funeral green room.
Yeah. Did our king have a name? Was there a name there?
Eivor III. That's the one that's given to. That's the one that's given in the book.
Oh, great.
I've played this game 3 times and I've never read that.
I've never known that either. I've played twice before.
Because that's kind of an illegitimate king, to be honest. Like, it's not very memorable.
Excuse.
Look, the whole of House Delaystone is just like, you're just killing time. No one knows who you are.
Oh no, throwing shit already.
They really are Delaystone.
No. Oh
Sorry for that.
No, you're great.
It's
Not at all
valid.
sorry for that. Sorry.
It's all great.
But in this funeral green room that we're in,
Oh yes.
there are 5 rules. First is that there is no music. The only music that we make must be made by the players as an active effort. If you want to have the music here, you gotta sing, or you gotta like drum your fingers, or do something like that. The second is that there are no drinks. Your character will remain sober and focused for the duration. The third is that for whatever reason, nobody else is around and nobody else is going to show up. We only have each other for company.
Wow.
The fourth is that we can't leave. If we would like to leave anyway, we must think of a compelling reason not to, such as a storm outside, wild dogs howling in the streets, not wanting to be out there alone, or anything else that seems rational at the time. Anything you establish about the outside as you invent an excuse becomes true in the fiction until proven otherwise. And the fifth is, all parties lose in a fight. Open conflict in the finest is invariably an indecisive, depressing event, resulting in nothing but minor injuries, humiliation, and awkwardness. Should you like to try it anyway, or have no alternative, every party involved describes how they come out of it looking and or feeling worse than before.
Such a good rule.
No fighting in the funeral green room is the point here.
I mean,
no drinking.
it's just gonna end badly. There might be some fun.
I guess that's a fair point, yeah. Especially given that this is the king is dead, we have very good reasons to fight each other.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, what does this funeral green room look like as we, and have we been there all along, or are we just kind of ushered in there by an unseen presence?
So I was thinking that like there was going to be a procession, like a funeral procession, and as the members, the scions of the various houses, we'd be the deceased king's honor guard. So this is like a waiting room for that before we go out to the crowds of our adoring public. That doesn't really help with what it looks like, though.
Well, I guess I'm wondering about this is whether this room is lavish or is it just like a room?
Ooh, good question. I would guess that it's like I don't like if you've been in like big fancy like churches or something, there's always like a back pastor's room or something where there's very little and it sounds different and feels different and smells different than like the rest of the building. I feel like maybe it's something like that where you can tell that like this place has this room because it is a fancy place, but it's not fancy in and of itself, maybe.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I like that a lot. I was also thinking it would be really funny if it was an enormous hall and we're just kind of sitting in an enormous like a state
like
ballroom or something, but there's
empty.
just the 5 of us and no food or drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no food.
I think like either a place where you can walk to the other side of the room to be away from everyone and just sulk dramatically, or a place where you cannot get away from anyone. I think we should definitely go to one of these two extremes.
I'm kind of leaning toward the sacristy angle because there's like because in that case and thank you, this is my cool Twitch name in the chat because that's a very handy thing to know.
Yeah.
We're just kind of like a priest dressing room, but the problem is that we're all dressed up and have no place to go.
Yeah.
And there's probably like boxes of supplies. Like it's a small room and it's cramped anyway, and then there's also like a little priest's wardrobe and things taking up what little space there is.
Mm-hmm. So are we going the small room route or the big hall route?
Small road. The small room route makes sense to me, at least.
Okay.
I'm happy to go with the small room route.
Small room house.
This small. Great.
The tiny noble house project.
So yeah,
Also,
how long?
since this room is small and I'm tall, is this room too small for me?
Oh no. I don't know that it's that small.
Nah.
I like the idea that you can just put up your arm and like brush your fingers on the ceiling.
That would be really cool. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh damn, this is my cool Twitch name is Kai.
Yeah, hi Kai. I missed your game, Kai, but I want to watch later. Yeah, so this is not quite a closet, but maybe it feels kind of like a closet.
Kind of like a closet.
Yeah,
kind of like the closets that we'd be accustomed to.
Oh yeah, we probably all feel like we're in a closet.
I mean, this is certainly a wing in my closet.
Yeah. Amazing.
Well, yeah, and here we are.
And here we are.
How long are we going to be here? I'm thinking 3 hours.
3 hours makes sense.
At least that's the time we have. At least that's the time we got to fill.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it says when your characters are ready, set a timer. Between 1 and 4 hours. Amazing.
Luckily, clocks exist, so we don't have to set a timer.
That is also true. I feel like I should set a timer anyway, but yes. I also don't want it to go off.
Well, I'm patient, so I'm going to set a timer.
Oh my goodness, love it. 3-hour timer. Which gives us a buffer zone too, which is nice. Amazing.
Yeah, so inside the Finest, you tend to have 5 options for what you can do. You can speak freely to one another or nobody in particular. You can perform trivial actions, things that require no effort, such as walking around, sitting down, picking something up, pulling something out of your bag, or standing on a table. The only trivial thing you cannot do is leave. You may wonder aloud, which is to say you may pose a question about the surroundings. Anyone else may answer if they want. If nobody answers, make your best guess as to what the answer might be. Whoever answers, their answer is the closest thing to the truth you'll get without further action. You may also choose to remain silent, and are encouraged to do so. If there's a lull in the conversation, don't be afraid of saying nothing. Listen to the minutes ticking by.
Amazing.
And finally, you may perform undertakings. For an action that would obviously take some effort, time, or concentration, collectively decide how many minutes it might reasonably take. Once that many minutes have passed in real time, that is, for the players, and somebody takes note of the time elapsed, the undertaking is done. Until then, the one who agreed to do it is occupied with it, and cannot perform another undertaking. They may still talk and do stuff like that, though.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
So we're waiting for this funeral, right?
Yep.
And so with typical funerals, there is like there is music, but I feel like what if in this house, in the royal house, everything before the funeral procession is required silence to some degree. Like you cannot play music because you're observing the silence from the dead, like experiencing that absence, that silence of music, and then like once the procession begins, that's when the music can start. So
I like that.
I think it's quiet, not just in our room, but like everywhere, you know? Like it's almost too much quiet. Which means you can probably hear every creak of the floor.
I think the thing you probably hear first is like Crispin's shiny polished armor, just kind of the plates of it rubbing it up against one another, just like a slightly clinky chainmail sound as it like shifts around a little bit, having sat down in the corner.
What's Crispin wearing?
Plate armor, like ceremonial plate armor. It's heavy and impractical. It's got like
yeah, it's extremely practical. I was going to say.
He's kind of going Game of Thrones style. Like he's got the plate armor, but he also isn't wearing a helmet because you know this is like a public function.
Great. Gotta protect the body, it's not the head.
I think it says something about the character when they come to a funeral in armor.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Like maybe that plays at home, but over here, I don't know. I feel like that says some things about what you're planning to accomplish, mate.
Yeah, you gotta at least be subtle about it. Come on.
Listen, this is how we do it.
The king is barely dead, and you're dressed up in here like a conquering hero.
I mean,
we don't need a conquering hero.
I mean, you say that, but on the other hand, who knows what's going to happen? I need people to know about. Whenever I walk into a room, I like to let people know about my competencies.
Look, some people need to do that. So, you know, I understand.
Luckily for us, we have other qualities. That we can show off.
Well, listen, nobody let me know about the dress code.
It's a funeral. What did you expect?
Sorry, did you need someone to let you know about the dress code?
Oh,
you don't have an attaché, or? I mean, it's kind of maybe. Is this the first place you've been outside of? I'm sorry, I've forgotten what your country is called. And that can be in character.
Oh, I thought that was absolutely on purpose.
From the homeland. from.
It's called Resh.
Sorry, I've been to a lot of places, but I've never been to Rash.
Resh.
Yeah.
It's pronounced Resh.
We're at funerals. I don't know about that.
It's okay. Is this normal dress for your funerals?
I mean, for the king's funeral, certainly.
Well, then it is welcome here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I think like until now, Zeal's just been like quiet and like standing against a wall, wringing their hands and like not quite knowing what to do with themselves, you know. And kind of walks over as you're being chastised for your outfit.
Oh no, I wasn't chastising. I just thought it was a really interesting and brave choice.
It is. That is certainly. It is a bold choice. But your
Very
presence
brave.
is appreciated.
Also, speaking about outfits, do you want to describe our outfits? Or
Oh,
that,
sure.
so I think.
No, go for it.
I think Victoria is she just wearing a long black dress. Yeah, yeah, very plain, just like long and flowing, basically, and wearing like a dark sun hat, like blackish sun hat, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that whenever somebody describes an outfit, it's what is actually fictionally happening is everybody's heads turned toward that character and they're like just staring at them.
Yes.
Look, she's tall, brooding, accomplished in arms, and wearing a very long black dress. So I think that's absolutely what Hale is doing.
Amazing.
Is that the traditional mourner's dress?
There. I had to make do with what I had back here, so it's black. It's the closest I could get.
Hmm. Yes.
It looks very nice.
Thank you.
It's a good look.
I think she was traveling, so she only had like 50 of her like 200 dresses here, so you know.
What about Giselle? This is your house. What are you wearing?
Yeah, I think they're wearing something similar to what they have in the icon. I think so. Everything is quite. It's very fancy. It's very. I wouldn't say it's black actually. I do think it is more like a purpley red, and it is clearly very. It's very wealthy in the sense that like it's simple. A lot of really wealthy clothes that I've seen are almost obnoxiously simple, where you're like, you can barely tell that that's not just a shirt from Walmart, but like it's $500.
Yeah,
That sort of thing.
expensive minimalism.
Yeah, and but I think so. They do have this tie thing around their neck, and I think that looks out of place. It looks like dirty and ragged. It's the one thing that is not fancy thing. And you all, I don't know if you all would know, but I think some of you would know that that is like a piece of the person's like clothing or like ranking, that each person can take a bit like from the king's robes, clothes, or whatever, and attach it to somewhere on themselves during the funeral. So this would be like maybe the tie that would come out of like a shirt or something that would tie up the front of a shirt. And they've just taken it and made it into like a necklace.
I really like that.
Yeah. So that's them. I kind of also think that the horns are not horn. They're like dress wear. They're
I was
not.
meaning to ask about the horns.
They're not like real. They're not like their own real. They're like something that members of the royal house wear, almost like a crown.
A crown of horns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what they're wearing.
So those aren't real horns.
No, they're not. I'll bet they look pretty cool, but because it's their house's thing. So a lot of like time and effort and money has gone into making them look really nice, but they're not real.
No, I think this is Chris been asking this.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes. No, that's they aren't. They're not. I mean, they're as real as any crown.
Good answer.
We don't take them off if we do not need to.
Well, of course not. You need to remind people of your claim.
Yeah, I don't
being
know that they need reminding.
so new, recent.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, they've been in power as long as I can remember. I mean,
Some of
That's
us remember
sweet.
longer.
That's
Yeah, clearly
very
so.
sweet.
Clearly, some people remember otherwise.
I think Hale is sitting on top of an old wooden, like a hope chest or a box of clothes and vestments, and is just drumming her fingers aggressively on the box while she's snarking at people.
This is
because
a
I'm the
traveling
person
time
that I
for
am.
our house. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that because I was talking. I'm sorry.
No, you go. You go. You do your thing.
So because I'm the person that I am, I went and found an outfit for Hale because I'm terrible. Check out
Shut up.
fashion_table if you want to see a lot more outfits. So I've
That's
just
true.
posted them up onto Roll Plus Reference, but it's the Alice and Olivia Fall 2020 ready to wear collection. And it's a long black embroidered velvet trench coat with a golden blouse with a Renaissance print embossed in it, and a skirt that looks like it's made entirely out of snakeskin.
Ooh.
And that's just so Hale, I think, looks like her picture. She's got that braid, but then she is extremely well dressed.
Do you have like a link or something that you could post?
I do. I will post a link in the Twitch chat if I can figure out how to do that. I posted this up in our Discord earlier. It's a really good outfit, so I would like to share it with people. Let me see if I can figure it out, because it's beautiful. Oh, someone's posted it in the chat already, I think.
Hey, Lofty, thanks. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Let me open it. I want to see this. Open link in new tab. Oh, it goes straight to Twitter. How exciting. Oh, yes. Yes. I saw this when I was like still rubbing sleep out of my eye at 3 in the morning. Wonderful. Looks amazing.
But I think it's a bit like that, but then maybe a bit sheer, and I think she's wearing a necklace from the king's outfit.
Yep.
Oh, no, I know what she's wearing, because she's really fucking brazen. She's wearing a necklace with one of the horns.
Oh my god. Amazing. Oh my god.
Oh, like a tiara?
No, just like a necklace with one of the king's horns hanging from it like a pendant from the king's ceremonial horns.
Where did you all get those? Was there just like was there just like did you get them at the wake? I didn't get to the wake.
They're not like trinkets that are just being handed out, Crispin.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm asking.
No.
I mean, those of us who have long-standing connections to the land and to the crown. We've got connections and relationships. It's just kind of how we do things over here.
I mean, back in Rush, there's only really one circumstance in which you can loot somebody's body.
I wouldn't call it
somebody's
looting.
But wow.
Yeah, that's not quite how we feel about it here, though.
This is a token of my esteem, respect for King Evad. This isn't looting. Yes. This is a memory. It's a memory of the crown.
Or of the person.
And bringing it back to where it should be.
Avard was a great man.
I feel like you're talking about two different things here.
I don't understand what you mean.
Oh, wait, you got a piece of the crown? Isn't that like passed down? Isn't somebody gonna come looking for that?
Yeah, that is passed down. That's why I have it. It's not like I snuck into the chapel and took it.
Well, how did that work though?
Out of character, she absolutely snuck into the chapel and took it.
I'm just asking I'm just asking for the next time that for the next time I get to go to one of these. I also want something. I feel like I'm entitled to
Look,
something at
I'll
least.
leave instructions I'll leave instructions for after I pass away. Someone will be in touch.
Oh, perfect. Do I get first dibs?
We'll see.
I feel like
I
we're
mean,
really
are you going
getting
to wear
somewhere.
that to my funeral?
Once again, send me a letter beforehand about the dress code. Because I just got off a Transoceanica. Boat, and I'm just like, where do I go? What do I do?
We can help you with anything that you have questions about, but for now, I think
Look, absolutely. We can look. I know not everyone had time to prepare. Not everyone was ready. So we're here to help. Really.
Yeah. We'll give you all the help you need.
Okay, yeah, you
Hale drums her fingers aggressively again.
got a spare one of those? You know, like a kingly artifact that I could wear.
I think
I don't.
I don't have an extra anything. My apologies. I mean,
Look, you could
not
probably
everyone
go
has
get
them.
one. Like we've got a couple of
Y-
hours.
Yeah, I don't think you can go out there.
Yeah,
So,
no.
you're not allowed. We'd have to just wait.
I'd be interrupting the day of silence.
Yes, it would be uncouth, and I don't think that you want to have that negative impression right off the bat with the people.
Yeah, precisely. So I think there's only one option. Jaziel, can I just see that little scrap of cloth you have there?
Cloth?
Yeah, cloth. Is that cloth?
Oh, do you mean the my necklace?
Yes.
You can, but this is really important to me. I don't want it to be damaged.
Well, I'm not going to damage it. I just want to see it.
Oh, okay. And they like undo the tie and kind of like gingerly hand it over to you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that seems like the appropriate sort of color. That looks... Okay, yes, perfect. And I give it back.
Oh, thank you. What did you need it for? You didn't.
I just needed to get a better look, but match the colors and stuff. And I think I opened the sacristy closet.
Great. They begin tying the necklace back on.
And I think I'm going to set about the undertaking of forging a piece of kingly clothing.
Wow.
I think Hale leans over to Victoria and says, like everything else they need to manufacture.
Yeah, no history.
None.
Definitely thinks he has a chance.
I think it's going to take me like 15 minutes at least.
Wow. Do you need any help?
Do you want to help? I feel like we could cut that in half if somebody came over and helped.
I would be willing to help you.
Yeah, 8 minutes then.
I would feel
You'd
bad
be
if
willing
you
to
did that.
help forge a relic?
Not forging. What are you talking? I'm helping to create something. In fact, by me doing this, I think it is just becoming a relic. I mean, it is. I am part of the royal house.
You're right.
will
We
be.
should help. I'll help too.
Technically, I'm acting regent, I believe. We have not had the time to discuss what all I will be doing, but
You might want to get on that. A transfer of power is an important thing.
I will once the funeral is complete. I cannot do that while their soul still lingers.
Huh. Don't they announce who's going to be regent and before the funeral? You know, so people don't get confused.
Oh no, it is decided. I will not be the leader, but I will be commanding, so to speak. It's complicated.
Oh, who's the king
There's
then?
a lot going on.
It's not really decided yet. I mean, that's an issue
I
of some
believe
contention.
it's the heir. I do believe
There's
it's the
some.
heir. Hale.
Hmm.
The king did have a child.
Look, my understanding is that there's some questions as to not the legitimacy of the child, but some questions as to the legitimacy of the claim.
I hear the heir's just a little baby.
A baby
Yes.
can't lead a kingdom.
No,
A baby
they
can't lead a
cannot.
kingdom.
This is why I will be helping to lead the kingdom until the child is older. Do you not know how this works? Is this also not a thing that is in your culture, Crispin?
No, we're an elective monarchy.
How enlightened.
How exciting.
Mhm.
I think-
That works so well.
I think that
So
makes more
you
sense
vote?
because then all the people with the real power in the country can just get together and elect a new king. Or queen, as the case may be.
Ruling over a land is divine right. The gods choose who is king or queen.
Well said.
Well, yeah, but if you start talking about the divine right, who exactly is favored by the gods, right?
I believe
Well-
it is the most devout of us. I mean, this is why we wear the crown of
Huh.
thorns. This is why we are the immortal flock. Because we are the most devout. We have been chosen. We've been given this piece of land and this power. I don't...
Given
Sorry,
is...
when were you given it?
Yeah.
I just... When?
It is divinely given.
But when?
This would have been when
I
we
think
came
you'll
to
find it was
power.
divinely taken,
Yes.
and not exactly divinely taken.
Well, it's a give and take process, isn't it?
Well, I think that if it was not to be ours to be taken, then it wouldn't have been given. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you
It
mean.
will-
I quite agree. If you didn't have the divine right to hold the throne, you wouldn't be able to hold the throne.
Yes.
Don't you agree,
And
Victoria?
I definitely agree. And I think that the kingdom will soon be given to its rightful heir.
Yes.
Quite, yeah.
Precisely right after the funeral.
Yeah, the
I
rightful
believe that-
heir.
Yes.
Yes, I should be going through the process once the whole ceremony is complete. So for now, we wait.
Well, but you're not going to be the
And
ruler, are
now
you?
we do wait.
Yes.
Look, those are
Ruler,
details.
regent, same thing.
Well, the regent is just like a temporary. It's just like a temporary ruler.
Yes.
In a sense, your claim on the throne is the weakest of all of us.
I wouldn't say that.
You're like a cabinet minister or something like that.
Yeah. You're a
The
babysitter
king
for the
was
new king.
my family. I don't know what you are talking about.
Oh, and now you bring
I-
nepotism into this.
I have more claim to this throne than the lot of you, but I do not lord that over everyone at every chance I get.
It's just, I think. Now, look, I know I know that no one can fault your devotion. No one can fault your devotion. You or your entire house, really. But, look, in my time with the seminary, I have to wonder, if you still had the divine right to hold the throne, surely you wouldn't be left with a baby as an heir.
All
It's a
things
little
come in good
baby.
time. Yes, but babies are a gift.
Babies are a gift, but not strong administrators, traditionally.
A baby
Perhaps
hasn't.
that's not what the crown needs at this.
A baby
It is
hasn't
not-
yet earned the
Oh.
right to rule a kingdom. You'll have
The
to
baby-
prove that.
You're missing the point. The baby clearly has the lead because this is. Let me just make sure. Can you hear us?
Are we actually back?
Possibly.
We are back.
I can hear you? Question mark. Great, amazing. Okay, so yeah, we are back. Huzzah! I believe
Yay.
everyone should be able to be heard. So yeah, what happened? No. What happened?
That's
in
that
our
silence you were
co-over
talking about.
here?
So while we were all gone, obviously we all had a fight.
We all fought. We had a big fight. We all failed. No, no, we didn't. um,
We all
yeah.
died, and now we're in a different place. That's how it works.
We're in the afterlife
We're all
now.
in Adularia.
We noticed pretty quickly once the stream went down, though. So we did. The players, we stopped pretty quickly. So and started working on it. So yeah, I guess so. Okay, so are you still working on your cloth?
No, I think I'm done. I think I've made this.
Wow.
I think I've definitely made like this priest smock into like a nice sash that I can wear.
Wow. Oh, okay, so the sash, what color is it?
I think the same color as your. I think the same color as your piece of kingly clothing.
Oh, right, you were matching it. Right.
I think I just like took out my dagger and just like completely ruined this priest's cassock.
Perfect. Oh my god.
And now I'm wearing it, and I look like I've won the lottery.
I do want to say that Victoria
What,
was
like you,
coughing in the
Will,
background.
or-
That so.
Coughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice. I
I
think
got my
we
hands
might
on
have
my hips. I'm posing.
We might have to explain what happened to the person who owns that, but they should be fine, I guess.
They're
with
priests.
it.
They can get another one.
I didn't think
Yeah.
you're only
Oh.
a regent.
That was a bit robot-y, but yes. Yeah. Great. Have you been to a funeral before?
Of course.
You sound excited about that.
Well, funerals are pretty fun.
All funerals are pretty fun?
Most of them are.
Most of them are. I can't say that I've been to a lot of funerals.
I mean,
I
fun's right in the
don't-
name, isn't it?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it's not so fun when you know the person who passed, though.
Oh, so you don't do
least-
so you don't do the whole thing where you remember the good times.
I mean, some people do. Some people do. I guess some people laugh at a funeral. But also it's not fun. For me, anyway. What do you do at a funeral that's fun?
Well,
Will
you
you talk to
dance,
people? Yes.
You dance and you talk to people?
you eat,
Okay, I don't feel like eating.
you talk about other people's outfits behind their backs.
At a funeral? Why would
Of
you do
course.
that?
This is how statecraft works.
Yes.
I mean,
Have-
at a ball, perhaps, yes. But at a funeral?
How often do you meet with the other princes and princesses, Jazeel? Because...
Just not at this sort of event. No, never.
Oh,
But it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
A once in one person's lifetime opportunity, I suppose. This was my
Jazeel's very young.
uncle, though. Yeah, like, we're the immortal flock. We do not perish easily.
yeah.
I think Hale just cracks her knuckles at that.
I think, like, Jazeel gives you, like a are you kidding me type look, like, silent, but, like, really?
You see, that's why I put on armor.
To fight.
I mean, if the opportunity comes along.
Again, you sound very excited about that.
But listen,
That
I'm
is
not
very
talking any
rational,
serious stuff. I mean, just like push people around, maybe fall on the table, do that sort of thing. You know, make a splash.
Make a splash.
That will make a splash, alright.
Yeah. Victoria, are you also looking for a fight at a funeral?
No, I just saying that him picking a fight would surely make a splash here. It's, you know, I'm just planning for the future right now.
Listen, in the race to a kingship, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
I definitely think there is room for bad publicity at a funeral and for
Yeah.
kingship. I mean, you are supposed to remember you're dead, but not with fighting and dancing? Who feels like dancing when they've lost someone?
I do
I
sometimes.
always feel like dancing.
Yeah, see, she gets it.
Perhaps the royal house does not share your enthusiasm for the death of others.
I mean, what else are you going to do but celebrate life?
Yes, but you do that after. After you cry. After you spend time together, and after you reflect, after you've given the earned silence and the earned weight of the person who's left.
Oh, that's another one of my favorite parts of funerals, which is trying to show other people up with your grief.
This is not a show. I am not showing my grief to get points.
Everything we ever
favor?
do is a show.
Yeah.
That's how the game works.
Perhaps that is the game that you all are playing. Our house does not have to play these games. Our house is honored.
How do you think your house got to where it is?
Again, divinely given. We have been devout.
Divinely taken.
Yeah.
Divinely taken. Again, we've
I
been
don't know
over
if
this.
it's really divine right if you took it only 3 generations ago.
We would have failed if it was not meant to be. If you feel like you have the
Fair
divine
enough.
authority, take it from me.
I think Hale just grins.
Think Victoria at this point, without really saying anything, just kind of walks to a corner of the room and takes out the pouch and starts just doing symbols on the ground and doing some sort of ritual without really explaining anything.
Jazeel is like side-eyeing you and is like, yeah, go ahead.
I think when I notice that, I say it to pay respect. And then I just go on, do a ritual, and I think that would take like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I guess everybody grieves in their own way.
Yes. We should all turn our eyes towards God and remember the times of King Avar the Third.
We should.
you-
Can you tell us of them?
Yes. He was very kind. Taught me how to like climb trees. Taught me how to play games. Was always very patient. Cared about people, you know?
Ooh, that's not what I heard.
Oh. I think like their eyebrows raised.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
did.
Hale is the Michael Jackson eating popcorn gif.
I mean, you know, I have. I mean, you remember the whole. You remember the whole Take-On affair, don't you?
Take on? No.
Maybe before your time.
Perhaps. When
Jazeel
was
is
this?
very young.
I
Yeah,
think
well.
Jazeel stops. Like.
Let me just say, Eivor the Third's name in Resh has not been exactly a very high commodity recently.
Well, why not? I don't see what was wrong with him.
Let's just say that certain deals were made and not honored. That's actually at the root of this claim that I'm pursuing here.
So deals were made and not honored on your part?
No. On House Delaystone's part.
That's impossible.
Yes, you would never do that.
We would not. We have honor. And like,
Well,
Jazeel
I mean,
raises
you have honor.
their
I have no
chest.
doubt.
I do have honor, thank you. But I can also vouch for the king. For the former king. He was very kind. I'm telling you, he would not back out of an agreement.
He was generous too, wasn't he?
Yes, very.
But then, it's not hard to be generous with something that isn't really yours.
I don't think I follow. Again, I don't think that we're on the same page here.
I think we are most definitely not, my dear.
What would it take to get you on the same page?
I think Hale kind of plays with the pendant, the crown pendant.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of looks at you and she says, "You know, this was my great-grandmother's."
This?
This from her to Avad the First, the usurper, to Avad the Second, the just, and to Avad the Third, the kind and the generous. And now back to me. You do know your house's history, don't you?
Yes. Mostly.
It's a little bit red. But then any good king knows a little blood. I'm just saying, sometimes it takes a while for the gods to show their displeasure.
Yes, and I would be very cautious not to get on their bad side. And I think
that's
Jaziel
very
walks
wise.
away, turns around and walks as far away as possible in this tiny room.
To the other corner.
Yeah. Maybe to the same corner that Victoria is doing this ritual.
While I'm writing symbols on the ground and stuff.
Yeah. And I think
Is there
Jaziel...
incense?
Yeah, is there?
I think there's like incense, and she's has like a sort of salve or something that she's like writing things on the floor and stuff with, or making symbols and stuff. And also, when we were doing this, someone said something about her being able to touch the ceiling, so I think she's also writing symbols on the ceiling.
Amazing. I think so. Jaziel walks over to that same corner and is like, Victoria, I don't know that you're supposed to write on the...
Sorry, what did you say? I didn't...
I don't know that you're supposed to write on the walls, Victoria.
It is a ritual. I would like silence, please.
Jaziel looks crestfallen, turns around and starts like a prayer of their own. In silence.
I turn to Hale and go, you know any
I think
prayers?
Hale's going to start an undertaking, a 5-minute undertaking, and she's going to check and fix her manicure.
Oh my god. Perfect.
Yeah, and Crispin is going to, well, fine then. And he has this bun on the top of his head.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he slowly unties that and lets his hair fall out. He has a lot of hair. It stretches down to his feet.
Oh wow.
You have a lot of hair.
Yes, thank you. It's a symbol of power. And then I think he takes out a brush and starts a 30-minute undertaking to brush all of his hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Poor Jaziel just standing there while everybody's busy doing something else.
So what does Jaziel's prayer look like?
I think part of it is taking their necklace off and like holding it in their hands and kneeling down, and I think part of it is like, I think that they begin sort of like lightly humming to themselves, even though you're not supposed to sing. Like, it's almost like they've mildly forgotten that you are not supposed to have music. And
You can't have music. You're just supposed to sing. You're supposed to sing to yourself.
No, in the royal house, you're not supposed to have music before
In the
funeral.
observance of silence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in their house. And I think that they've temporarily forgotten this because they are not familiar with funerals. But I think like their typical prayers would include like singing or humming or whistling. And so that is what they begin doing. While like holding this thing. And like I think it's probably in a language that is not typically used. It's probably something that they learned when they were little, that is just like in the remembrance of the dead that they learned and never had a chance to actually do. So they probably fumble a few of the words, but most likely no one really knows that unless they know the house's prayers, you know? they probably don't even realize that they're fumbling any of the words or pronunciations of things.
This is like really earnest and important to them, right?
I think so, yeah. I think that's clear. And they're just off doing that temporarily.
I think at this point in the ritual Victoria was doing, she basically sits down cross-legged in the middle of all the symbols she's drawn, and kind of looks like she's meditating.
What do the symbols, what are they written in? Like, did you mention, is it like chalk?
I think it's an ancient script. It's not really writing, it's just like symbols. So, but I don't think it's all like ancient things basically. So I don't think the rest of you would know what they mean. Really. You might have seen one before, but you're not really sure what that means.
Yeah. And then you're like meditating?
Yeah.
I think Jizia would probably, once they're done, kind of like turn around and I think like they don't want to bother you, but I think they start like going to run their fingers along like the symbol that have been written.
I think when you do that, Victoria is like sitting there meditating. When you do that, she like stares at you, and like if you just sit there, I think she pushes away your hand that's touching the symbols, basically, and then just goes back to meditating again.
Oh, sorry, I just don't know what they mean. And they look up at the ceiling. They keep looking at them, even though like their hand is still like slightly outstretched, but not like touching anything.
I think the ritual is about done now, so I think what happens is you are looking at the symbols, and all of a sudden they like seem to evaporate. Like it all just disappears, and like Victoria opens her eyes and just stands up.
What was that for?
It's to honor that. It's you know, we have older race than House Dilstone has. We are more in contact with the ancient gods, and this is how we communicate with them.
Is it like magic? Are you practicing magic?
I mean, is it magic when you pray to God?
No, that is divine. That is pure.
This is divine, and this is pure.
It is unfamiliar to me.
Wow, way to be
I think
tactful.
Kale laughs at that.
Your ways were unfamiliar to us once as well.
Can you teach me this magic? They are still clearly calling this magic.
I mean, I think out of character that this is actually fluff, so you know.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to learn. It's meant
We have
for...
nothing but time, Victoria.
I mean more than a few hours. Jazil. It's...
Hale starts an undertaking to learn magic. It's going to take 16 years.
Great.
And I think Victoria also says it's only given to the worthy.
Ooh.
I am royal. You have to start somewhere. what is the basic idea?
Well, I learned this from my grandmother. Started at a young age. She did rituals on me. I mostly just sat there and waited for her to do her thing. And then slowly she started involving me in it. And she passed away. I kept doing it myself. And that's how I communicate with the gods.
That's either magic or the preface to an excellent chili recipe.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
that sounds
afterwards,
kind of
you
right.
need to get a pot and make chili.
And Hale slaps you on the shoulder and says, "You're all right, Rash."
Thank you. I try to be, and I think while Chris is brushing his hair, he's just taking like a big fistful of it and just kind of running the brush through it carefully. It kind of like it's long enough that it's kind of like trying to navigate like a very big hose of hair that he's just like going through strand by strand.
It's difficult. I have really long hair IRL, and woof.
Hmm.
I think at that point, Victoria asks Jazil, "Do you want me to do a ritual on you?"
Yes, that would
Hale leans forward.
Chris
be
also leans forward.
She should be good.
What do I need to prepare? I cannot leave. So hopefully you don't need anything.
You don't have to leave. And I think Victoria checks the satchel that she's got the salvia from and stuff to see if she still has enough stuff to do the ritual and nods and okay, just sit here and she basically points at the space on the floor for you to sit.
And they sit down.
Okay. And I think Victoria starts another ritual and don't think she tells Jazil what the ritual is or what it will do.
Don't worry, they haven't even asked. They just assume that you are bestowing a blessing upon their house.
Kid.
Yep, that's definitely what I'm doing right now.
I mean, who would do anything bad at a...
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone.
God.
I can't think of... Certainly not King Abad the First.
I love the dynamic of just one incredibly well cutthroat people who are all and I think then Victoria starts doing another ritual, so throwing symbols on the floor again, and I think she, at certain points, she basically puts her hands on your shoulders and stuff, and on your head, and just starts doing that. So I think that will take about 15 minutes.
Hale leans over to Crispin and says, "That one looks like a duck."
It looks like a what?
A duck. You have ducks in Rash, right?
I'm afraid not.
Don't have ducks.
Only horrible goose.
I'm afraid St. Karsten drew all of them off the continent.
I can see why you'd come here then. I can't imagine living in a land without ducks.
Well, a better world is possible, is the saying in Rash.
I can see why.
Besides, now there's more for you. It is said that one of these days ducks will return to Resh, and that will be the day the household nest falls. So, we have a vested interest in keeping it that way.
No, I can see why you'd want them to be ducks. So it would be a bad omen if ducks turned up, wouldn't it?
Oh yes, it would be a very bad omen indeed.
I think at that point Victoria
So I
was
hope
not
it
the
doesn't
duck.
happen for a long time, Hale says, taking out her notebook and writing something down in it.
Ducks. We had a bestiary in it, and ducks there had 6 wings.
Yes?
They had
6
these long
wings?
tails, and they could breathe fire.
Uh-huh. Yes, that's ducks.
What? That's so many wings.
That's
Silent.
the normal amount
Victoria
for a duck,
says
I
to-
think. 6 wings,
Oh, really?
fire.
Well, no. You see, see the description for the average duck is that the duck had 3 heads, 6 wings, and 3 bodies,
3 bodies?
and
Jazeel
6
says,
legs.
ignoring Victoria.
Is that not... Is that not just 3 ducks?
It is 3 ducks. I have deduced this much.
You are good at math.
Jazeel,
Better than most of my peers.
the ritual
Yes?
works best when you're silent.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Silence. And they look down at the floor.
Jazeel is such a good shepherd.
And they whisper out the side of their mouth, like, there's no ducks here. as if no one would, as if Victoria would not hear them say that.
There are ducks here. It's only one of the it's only one of the portents that makes this a grim and cursed land.
Well, it's very brave of you to come here, then.
I puff up my
Risk
chest a little bit.
determination. Will you be allowed to return home?
That remains to be seen. Presumably.
I mean,
Provided I
hope
become
so.
king, that is.
Excuse me?
How far are you in the rash succession?
Second,
You're
actually.
really not allowed to return home until you're... Well, we'll be glad to have you until Rash crowns you their king.
Yes. That is exactly what I was talking about as well.
I think at this point Victoria makes a circle around Jazeel's head, like it's the circumference of a crown, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then does the same with herself.
Jazeel does not notice. Does not notice this. Is this almost complete?
We're about halfway.
Well, thank you for bestowing your blessing.
I'm not done yet.
I know.
Okay.
I'm showing my gratitude.
Thank you.
Hale leans forward and says, "You're supposed to be quiet."
It's really hard.
You might get cursed by accident if you don't stay quiet.
I think they like, you know
That
how
would
like
be
you
terrible.
like mum up your mouth, like you suck your lips in. Oh, must be quiet. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I think Victoria's just progressively getting bored.
Giselle, do you remember your aunt? She died not long after you were born. Was Miriam, Mary,
Yes.
What was
You know,
what
I
was her
can't
name?
talk.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Marla. Marla
No.
is what I call her.
No.
Yes.
No.
That's what I called her.
I think at this point, like the ring I drew around your head starts to burn a little bit, like becoming really hot.
Is this... Ow. Victoria,
Don't
this hurts.
talk, and it won't hurt.
Is
The
this
burn means
ring
it's working.
I don't think this is actually part of the ritual. I think. Did I cut out
Victoria's
there?
just doing it. Yeah, you did.
Oh, sorry. No, I think Victoria is just doing this because she's getting annoyed, not because it's actually part of the ritual.
Ow. This is like pain.
It starts to burn harder when you say that.
Ow.
Well, I, for one, am having a lot of fun.
I know.
It's a funeral. It's not supposed
You
to
know,
be
there's
fun.
an old fable about look, there's no polite way to say it, but it's about a man who stole a hat. And you can always tell because the top of his hair would be ashen and burned. It's a fable about not stealing hats. I don't know
Don't
what's making
burn
me
my
think of it.
hair.
It only hurts, it won't actually burn.
You damage and ruin my hair when we really mad. I have to go out there and give a speech and all.
I'm sure we could give a speech in your stead if you feel unconfident in going out there.
That would be
Look,
wholly
absolutely.
inappropriate.
I would be
No.
honored to represent you.
No.
We are friends.
And
We'd
of
be happy to
course-
help.
Of course, I hope it doesn't come to pass. I just want you to know, as your friend, if anything
think-
happened, I would be here for you to stand in your place.
I think they just look at you like. Mhm.
I think Hale reaches over to adjust a piece of hair that's fallen across your face
Mhm.
in a gesture that's both big sisterly and also very patronizing.
Thank you. They say begrudgingly.
I think at that point Victoria says to Jazil, now you sit here, with your eyes closed, stay silent, and wait. And I sit next to you and do the same.
Okay. They close their eyes. But occasionally are peeking. But how you can kind of slit open them slightly to see.
Hale waves.
I think every time I think Victoria also just turns her head towards you when you do that.
No one's closing their eyes for real.
I don't think Victoria needs her eyes to notice it.
Oh,
Magic.
Magic.
Do you have any any old legends about the people of the North back in Rush?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear one.
Well, you understand. I was saying yeah because I'm sure there are some. I do not know any personally.
Ever the diplomat.
Could you not make one up? Jazeel says, unable to contain themselves.
Well, now that you mention it, Let me think. No, I don't think I could. Not on the spot. I suppose I could come up with some kind of fanciful tale about a duck king who came from humble extraction in the north, and sailed northward to try and conquer all of Resh and usher in a 30-year reign of tyranny and terror.
Wow. Yeah.
This led to the
Lovely
Great
story.
Resh Exodus, which led them across the sea and back, and their leader, my venerable ancestor, bore the great spear with which they eventually defeated the Duck King once again, restoring justice to the land.
So y'all just fight
Sorry, restoring
ducks?
justice to the land.
Yeah. What?
Come again?
Silent.
Ducks are a symbol of justice. I always assumed that was why they were a bad omen.
Are they a symbol of justice? Because in Resh they are a symbol. Because in Resh they are a symbol of. They are a symbol of the opposition.
Yes. Exactly.
They are the adversary. Well, anyway, is that the kind of story you were hoping to hear?
That is absolutely the kind of story I was hoping to hear. Thank you for sharing it with me.
Thank you, I made it up.
I think at that point, all the symbols that were drawn disappear again, and Victoria opens her eyes again.
Mm-hmm.
Says to Silvan, yeah, it's done.
Oh. Can I talk now?
Yes, you can talk now.
Oh, it was so hard being quiet, and they like flop over onto the ground. On their
You were
side.
very bad at it.
Really well.
Wait, I've heard two opinions now.
It would have worked better if you were more quiet.
That's impossible. How are people so quiet all the time?
They
Patience.
think before they say things.
Oh, I'm always thinking. My brain is always going so fast.
Mm.
No brakes on the brain train.
No breaks on this brain. Yes. Should we look outside? Should we look and see how things are going? I know we're not supposed to, but should we see if they're almost ready?
I think we absolutely should. And Hale walks over to the door and then hears somebody's footsteps on the tiles and backs away.
What happened?
There's someone out there. It's probably one of the servants, but I don't want to break the vigil. Traditions are very important.
They are very important.
They are.
Are
But
they
we're
saying
just-
something?
Not that I can hear.
Are they whispering?
Maybe they're listening in on us as well.
Should we also whisper?
Do you have something you don't want them to hear?
No, I have nothing to hide.
Spoken like someone with something to hide, honestly.
I have nothing to hide. They say again.
Well, that's a shame. We should all have something to hide.
You only hide things that you're ashamed of, no? They say very naively.
Look, if I were to describe House Deliston, I would not say that they had shame.
Yes, we're a very honest house.
Completely shameless, in fact.
Yes, there is nothing to be ashamed of in our house.
Hale pointedly plays with her pendant.
What if they are listening into us? What if this has all been a test of some kind?
Why a test? A
I
test of
wonder what they
what?
would be testing.
Yeah.
Good question.
Our patience?
Yes, for example.
That is one thing, yes.
Well, I think I succeeded at that fall very good right now. Right then. Yeah. I messed up.
Perhaps they're still listening in on us right now and trying to. And they're. Well, I wouldn't say laughing at us, but making good-natured conversation about us.
Perhaps they're speculating about ducks.
Perhaps
Ducks on
they
the
are.
scales of justice.
Should we invite them in? We shouldn't.
We almost certainly shouldn't. This
I don't
this
think
room
we
is for the honor
should.
guard.
Yes, you wouldn't want to break your house's traditions, would you?
No. But more people to talk to would be nice. A breath of fresh
we
air
are
would
good
be nice.
company.
Yes, the best. And they like rub their forehead where the pain had been.
And if you want a breath of fresh air, I think there is. Is that a tiny window I see at the very top? At the very top of this room.
Here, I'll help you up. Hale does
Uh,
not make any movement to help you up.
I don't think that climbing on one another is a good or safe thing to do, perhaps.
Yes, let's climb on the sacristy closet instead.
I mean, if you want to push it over. Sure.
Ooh, better idea.
I can help you so we don't break it.
Less excited now, but okay.
Why do you wish?
God.
Why do you seek to destroy?
Well, for one, it's going to make a very puzzling noise, and maybe somebody will hear it and decide to check inside, and then we can politely rebuff them and feel very superior to them.
Ooh. I could see that being interesting.
Exactly.
I mean, it wouldn't be nice, but it'd be something, I guess, to do.
I mean, nice isn't everything. You can't really be nice as a ruler. You're going to have to get used to that, my dear.
I'm only not nice when I have to be. I don't find pleasure in being mean to people. Unlike some. And they just eye at you. They eye at you.
Yeah, that's terrible. Some people are really quite monstrous.
Well, anyway, Jazeel, help me push help me push this closet over. I need to get at this window.
Certainly. And they make to help you, tip it over.
Yeah, this probably doesn't actually take that long with help.
Does it make a thud? Is it noisy?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think you can move a piece of furniture of that size without it making noise.
It's creaking and thuds.
Some of
Okay,
the
now
stuff
what?
inside
Does
of
the
it
door
falls
fall
out, I
open when it
think.
hits the ground?
Of course the door falls open. Just the bottom door, though.
The priest's vestments spill out onto the floor.
Exactly. They provide a very handy kind of platform for me to step on and just climb on top of this closet and reach the window up above. And I think I'm gonna take my dagger out, my ceremonial dagger, and I'm gonna take about 5 minutes to basically open up this window forcibly.
Wow. Thanks. I'm sure it'll be good when you get it open.
Yeah, fresh air, as you said.
Yeah. Definitely. And I think Jaziel is just like standing nearby, like almost like spotting spotting you.
Crispin's wearing full plate mail, right? That's a thing we established while
Yeah.
standing on this tipped over wardrobe.
Yeah. You're gonna break it.
I think I kind of worked my dagger in between the bricks, and I think I'm kind of trying to. I think I'm trying to unsecure one so that I can just get the whole frame out. Because this is not a window that opens, traditionally speaking.
Right.
Is this something you've had to do often, Crispin?
You seem quite adept at it.
When I was young,
I
they used to
imagine
try to
this is-
make me a monk, but I was too damn rambunctious.
A monk? This is like a thief. Are your monks thieves?
Some of them, but mostly not. But mostly not in an official capacity.
Jaziel's aghast, like mouth open.
Jaziel, we need to introduce you to more monks.
I don't know that your monks are to my liking.
They're not my monks, they're our monks.
They're everyone's monks, really. Monks are public property.
Monks are not to be owned. You don't own monks. It's not like trading monks. You can't. Monks are not a commodity.
I'm fairly certain
They are-
they
I
do.
mean, you sponsor them.
Yes. They are volunteers. For a good cause.
That doesn't mean you can't trade them. You can say, let's say, for example, that the monk is very good at making wine,
Uh-huh.
and then they just kind of send that monk around a bunch of monasteries so that they can teach other monks to make good wine. That's still trading monks. They get like, and they give that monk gifts so that monk is motivated to go and to move around. That's the monk trade.
I don't know that I would call it trading monks. Sounds like a card game. This is
It's also like a card game.
A lot of things are like a game when you're a game.
I keep hearing this game, and I'm slowly beginning to feel like none of you are taking this very seriously.
Maybe describing things as games is itself a game.
Perhaps.
These games we play.
I think like Jaziel's clearly getting impatient now. Like starting to like pace a little bit.
In the tiny room.
Yeah, exactly. Like clear, like having to shuffle past you all.
Okay, just a little bit longer.
Every time Hale gets out of the way, but not enough.
Great. So I'm just like half bumping into you every time I walk by. Amazing.
I think at this point Victoria just sits right next to Hill and just gives like a knowing nod. Like, these idiots, basically.
Why do we... I know y'all didn't make this decision, but can't this room be any bigger? If we have to be here for this long?
I mean, it's your house, love.
I already prefaced my sentence. Hale.
How do you propose we would make it bigger?
We'll just choose another waiting room. Like, if we're gonna be waiting here, I might as well make it a bigger place. I think when I am given the power, I will make the funeral waiting room larger, I think. That'll be one of my first things to do.
That's a noble goal, my dear.
So that people can be comfortable as they wait for your funeral.
It's not my funeral. I didn't
It's someone's
say
funeral.
Yes. Yes.
Well, listen. Well,
You
eventually it's
might
going to
not
be
need
your
to.
funeral too.
Kristen's already making the room larger.
Exactly, and I think I say that, and they rip out the window from its frame.
Oh my, oh my gosh.
It is freezing outside. I think.
Oh my gosh. I
I
immediately
think Hale
shivered.
is
Like,
brushing masonry dust off of her jacket.
I think I kind of very gently set the frame down on the ground.
uh, hmm.
Nothing to be done.
I mean, what could be done? Right now, anyway. Until, you know.
Goodness, are those ducks out there?
There are no ducks.
No, I think I do see one.
Impossible.
Okay, this. Okay, then, smart person, climb up here and you take a look out there. Tell me if that's not a duck.
I don't want to.
What do you mean you don't want to?
I'm not going to go climbing on the cupboard. I helped you and we opened the window, but I'm not going to go climbing on furniture.
Well, then I guess you'll have to take my word for it, won't you?
Or not. I don't know why we would have ducks there. I think you're making up another story, just like you did before.
But that doesn't even make any sense. That's not a story, that's just a duck.
It does
Although-
lack a certain je ne sais quoi.
Although, now looking at it again, it might just be 3 ducks.
How many ducks would be a good number of ducks, though?
No ducks.
0 ducks. See? Then there are no ducks.
Is that a
If
royal
she made it
proclamation?
so.
I am not technically in power yet. So I cannot make royal proclamations. But
Yeah, there are no ducks, you're right.
yes, see? Exactly. No ducks.
I so proclaim.
I'm glad this
also
room can come
proclaim.
together on one issue, though.
I quite like dogs actually, so
Well, there you go, ruining it again.
You cannot simply conjure a duck, can you?
I can conjure
I mean,
up
I
a duck
can,
in my
but I'm sure
imagination.
Victoria can.
Hmm.
I've heard
You
that
can
you can
call one
conjure
to
ducks
me.
with breadcrumbs.
I can certainly call one to me, but I can't create one out of thin air.
Could you draw a duck?
I have many times, yes.
Why don't you draw one?
Okay, and I think Victoria takes out her pouch again and like draws a duck on the. There you go.
I think I
a
could
duck.
draw a better duck than that.
It's a symbol. It's not meant to be realistic.
I didn't ask for a symbol of a duck. I asked for a duck.
Could you draw could you make a drawing of a duck so precise that it becomes a duck?
Yes. Could you do
In
that?
fact, it's in rituals,
Ultimately,
not
could you
drawing.
not do that? This is a very small room. I already have dust on my coat.
Well, there's an
Yes.
opening we could dispose of any ducks through.
We could just start sending out a bunch of ducks, which would be odd and maybe a bad omen, but it would be kind of entertaining, and we have nothing to do.
Well, it would
But
be a
we
bad
should
omen in Rash. They just
absolutely
kind of
do
live
that.
around here.
Hmm. So when's the last time you saw a duck? They just asked the room.
Think I saw one on my travels 2 days ago.
Where were you traveling?
Here. For the funeral.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense. I see. How was the roads? How were the roads?
Same as always. Took some time, but
So pleasant.
it was pleasant enough. I like nature, so it's nice to be out there.
Well, you're welcome. We do really good upkeep on the roads. Glad to hear they are performing their function well for the people.
Well, I came in by ship.
Oh, how were the waters?
Do you also maintain those?
I mean, the divine maintains those.
How do you make the divine maintain the waters in a prompt fashion?
Oh, we do not make the divine do anything.
I'm sorry. How exactly do you propitiate the divine so that the divine does not make the waters unfriendly?
Well, we just carry on with our prayers and our devotion and our taking care of the people. As long as we take care of the people, the gods are happy, and when the gods are happy, the waters are calm.
What about that storm a few weeks ago?
I'm sorry?
Were the waters calm, Crispin?
A bit choppy.
Occasionally, we are thrown obstacles in our path in order to overcome them to keep things interesting.
And this is not at all an indication of that you might not be doing a great job keeping the waters calm.
Absolutely not. Were you in peril?
Absolutely. You're always in peril on the high seas.
Perhaps you should not cross the seas then.
Perhaps you should pray to the gods more.
Yeah. What's up? What's up? Why were the waters not sufficiently calm for my grand arrival?
I don't know. It sounds like your story has changed. It sounded like the waters were fine.
Well, the waters were
And-
generally fine, but the high seas remain perilous.
I mean, the high seas are always going to be perilous, but if you have enough faith, you will be fine. And it sounds like you got here just fine.
Well, tell that to my crew.
I will. I will congratulate them for their large faith.
Big faith.
Grandiose.
Big faith.
Great. Who's that big duck?
I suppose we did feed the gulls, which we maybe shouldn't have done. You never know with gulls. Sometimes they bring good luck, but sometimes they don't.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever
I
eaten
think while
a
you
duck?
two are talking... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go.
No, yours sounds much more interesting.
Yeah. I don't think you're supposed to eat ducks, but have you ever eaten a duck before?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I don't
You
think
are what
you're
you eat,
supposed
and I
to.
would never want to be a duck.
You are what you... Why would you say that? I don't eat people.
What do you eat?
I think my eyes get shifty for a second. Nothing.
So you are nothing then.
I mean, nothing
This is-
unusual, I suppose.
Ah. Nothing
You are
unusual.
nothing unusual.
And the everyman candidate, you could say. Wait, what do you eat?
Hail? What does
I
Hail
don't think
eat?
so. Oh, all kinds of things. We always host a reasonable feast. We invite the gentry, we invite the landholders, we invite the workers, we invite the soldiers. Just anything. We wait,
You mean
and we fast, and we feast. And that's the way that it always is for us. We wait, and we fast, and then we feast. And Hale licks her lips.
hmm.
Yeah, that seems on the level. How about you, Victoria? What do you eat?
What the land gives us. It's
What does it give you?
vegetables, bread, things like that.
Good answer. Good answer.
What about you,
Yeah,
Jesse?
but you must have feasts too, right?
We have beasts, but I prefer not to eat them. There's something about eating them that, doesn't sit right with how I view the gods.
What do the gods eat?
I don't think the gods need to eat.
I disagree.
I
No, I
also
don't think they-
disagree.
Jazeel, what do the gods eat?
Well, you're supposed to make the ceremonial food in pairs. You make them in pairs.
Do you know? Have you ever made ceremonial food for the gods?
Of course, all the time.
Well,
But over in Resh, we call them sacrifices.
we call them offerings.
That is also a nice term for it, yes.
We can only do them in pairs, though. We're not worthy alone to do it. Not for the food offering. It needs to contain, I guess, blessings from two.
Oh, you also have that story, right?
What story are you referring to now?
Well, the tale of the water serpent, obviously.
We do not have such a story in our culture.
Well, let me tell
Please
you the
tell
story of the
us.
water serpent. Once upon a time,
As
the
you
gods
start telling the story, Hale stands up and walks over to Jazeel and pulls a pastry out of her purse
Ooh.
and just nods at you and invites you to start making an offering while we listen to the story.
Oh my god. Okay. Great, go for it. Go for your story.
So the tale of the water serpent speaks of the time of the Great Flood. Once upon a time, there was just a lot more water. There was the possibility of there being a lot more water than there used to be, and the person responsible for that was the water serpent.
Yes. And I think Jazeel breaks the bread into half and gives half to Hale.
They lived in the sea, and then they lived in the sea, and occasionally they would make trouble for the people. And how that eventually turned out was that the water serpent had enough of people and decided that it would eat all of the lands of everyone.
They would eat everyone?
Yes.
Hale slices her hand and spills her blood onto the pastry.
Wow. I think Jazeel just like nicks like their finger. You know, like.
And so what happened was that the God Speakers would not have the God Speakers decided to go for a compromise. They called up the gods and asked them to mediate between them and the between them and the water serpent. And what eventually happened is that they reached a deal. What would happen is that the water serpent would beach themselves on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
And in return for saving everyone in the world as they know it, the people of the lands will bring all their offerings. And these offerings would be sent in pairs, so to make sure that they are well representative of the bounty of the land, the best and the second best, they said.
Yes, the best and the second best. And Jazeel looks over at Hale, like on the second best. And
Hale
I think
just smiles and picks up your pastry and takes a bite out of it, as is traditional.
Yeah, I think Jazeel reaches for yours and like rolls it like in their hand, and then also takes a small bite, but is like, ew, you know, and lays it on the ground, maybe like out between them, and just like waits, and then closes their eyes and like begins like a prayer.
And so what happened is they sent in these things in pairs. They sent in everything. They sent in 2 of every tree. They sent in 2 of every rock. They sent in 2 of every. They sent in 2 of every animal. And finally, they sent in 2 of every nation of the world.
Mm-hmm.
2 of every noble house.
Yes, 2 of every noble
royal
house.
Or 2 of the most noble house.
Well, I think back then there were no noble houses yet. The 2 who were sent in, their families became noble by association.
I see.
You know, as a reward.
This sounds like it is a good omen for myself as the regent and the child heir. There are 2.
Yes, many have thought the same thing. So eventually, what happened is that the water serpent at last was fed, and what it did is that it just kind of I think I pantomimed this, just kind of swayed on one side, then swayed on the other, and then rolled back into the ocean.
Oh.
And there it has slept since, in a food coma.
Oh, good. Sleeping and well fed. Sounds like the perfect ending of a story.
And when it wakes up again, we'll have to do it again. And this will be known as the time of tribulations.
Is this when the ducks come to Rash?
When the ducks come to Rash.
I think that might be it, yes.
Sounds scary. I feel bad for your people that you have to deal with this sort of thing.
I mean, we don't have to deal with it personally. It's ultimately just a story, though I do look forward to the water serpent coming back.
Should we maybe take a break?
Oh, yes. Like a
Was
real
like a 10-minute break?
Like, yeah, like a 5-10 minute break. Yes,
I mean,
we
we
should.
did kind of have one, but...
No, we should take a break and washroom break.
Fan
Thank
break.
you for reminding me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was looking at the time, I was like, oh wait, we take one.
So yeah, we can
Yeah.
let the stream everyone know that we're going to take a quick break. If you want, feel free to make a donation to Rises, which is the donation that we're doing.
Isn't that Raices?
Rices, yeah. It's not like Rices, and it's not race. So I'm really bad at pronunciation, though. So.
Raices.
All right, let's take a quick break. Be back in like 5-10 minutes.
Yep.
Looks like maybe we're back. Hey. We are back. Thank you. I'm getting a notification that we are back. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. What possibly that says.
Oh god, this is great.
Yeah.
Right. So. Oh, I cannot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Hello. It's fine. Anyway, we're back. If you
This
didn't get a
isn't
chance
gonna
to
be
check
the
it
rest of the
out,
stream? Or?
no, we're not just gonna read the chat and the rest. Yeah, so magically, birds come in with little note cards that we begin reading into that
I
window.
mean, reading what happens in the chat would be extremely absurdist theater.
Just read them like lines.
Oh my god. Yeah. Great. Yeah, if you didn't get a chance to donate, feel free to check out the link keep posting. We did break 300, so yay for a good cause. Oh, thank you. Get that chat with the donate link. But yeah, so begin again. And I think Jazeel is like really clearly like antsy, like wants to get out. They would want out. They're not pacing anymore, but like I feel like they're like up against a wall, like tapping their fingers, like you know, that sort of thing.
I think Hale is just like being very quiet and then occasionally making like inadvertent body movement noises that are really irritating. Like
Mhm.
fingernails on a blackboard kind of noises, but not that extreme.
Mhm.
Just like scraping over the hope chest that she's sitting on over, and just generally making it an unpleasant place to be for Jazeel.
Yep.
I think Crispin is like hopping up and down a little bit. He's kind of like limbering up, preparing to go somewhere, thinking that like if he does this, he'll be like more prepared and like he'll come sooner. So he just like jangles as he jumps up and down a little bit.
There is no music except that which the characters make themselves by dancing in plate mail.
Wow. Yeah.
I make music wherever I go.
Wow.
I think Victoria's just silently observing everyone and just...
I think at the noise, the plate mail, Jazeel is kind of like, so this is bad sound you're making. What?
Oh, you're
I know
breaking
that
up
this
a bit for me, but...
Oh, sorry. I know this is like your typical wear for Crispin.
Yes.
Uh,
That's not my
But
typical
maybe-
wear. I don't wear this at home or anything.
no, I mean typical funeral wear. Maybe you could take some of it off. Maybe.
I'd rather not.
Jazeel!
But
That's a bit forward, isn't it?
it's a little noisy.
Well,
It's a
I
little
mean,
noisy.
and that's because I'm jumping up and down. I can just stop doing that if you want me to.
Well, I understand the
Scrape.
need to. That's also, but I can't. That's also very noisy. However,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's fine. You can't. It's not like you can't remove your finger. I mean, you could remove your. That's not what I would never ask you to remove your fingers.
Good
But-
to establish that.
But
Hale checks their manicure.
the plate mail is an easily removable thing.
It is not.
It is, though. How is it
Well-
not?
Well,
What
it
are you
needs 15
wearing
minutes
under
and an
that thing?
assistant.
Well, I think any one of us would be more than happy to.
Listen, you'd put my squire out of a job.
Your squire is not here.
Well, my squire is not here, but I wouldn't want to put him out of a job.
It would only be a job for today. I would hate to ask you to not jump around.
It's just Jazeel.
I could
think
do
you'd make an
stretches
excellent
instead.
squire.
I feel like the scraping still happens stretching. Is that Hale?
I think you'd make an excellent squire.
I would never make a squire. I
Don't
find
sell
that
yourself
quite
short.
rude. I am
No,
not.
You're just so diligent.
I am, but I would never take the. I don't know what you're talking
There's no dishonor in service.
Yeah,
Rule
I had to be a
service.
squire once.
As did I. What about you, Victoria?
We don't. I haven't been a squire. It's not really what we do.
about. Jazeel
Yeah.
smiles.
Well, haven't you been like a shield bearer or a sword bearer or something like that?
I
That's basically a squire.
other ways to fight. I don't need swords or shields necessarily. I
Well-
can use them, but you know, I prefer other ways.
Huh. Do
What
tell.
ways would theirs be?
The way of the gods.
Biting?
Biting?
Just
What?
no.
Are you saying this because you are what you eat? You already mentioned this before. You're not supposed to bite people.
You're not supposed to, but the gods do it all the time.
I mean, sometimes you're supposed to.
And sometimes you don't really have any other
Yeah.
option.
No. Children bite each other. We are not
Adults
children.
bite each other.
Jazeel once again looks over at you like, stop. The adults do not bite each other. Jazeel gets really like flustered. Like, what are you talking about? This is ridiculous.
What are the gods if not very large children?
I would not speak of them as in that way. But the gods are welcome to bite. But we should hold ourselves to a higher standard.
Ooh.
We should hold ourselves to a higher standard than the gods?
Than biting. Yeah, yes.
Well, I do suppose I see where you're coming from because our teeth are not very sharp.
They are not. And also, the gods don't need to earn their place, but we do. We need to work harder than to prove ourselves. Like, Jazeel is clearly talking himself in. Like,
I suppose when you're the king, you can bite anyone you like.
Or the queen?
I
Or
don't
the
know
queen.
that.
Well, probably not the queen. You shouldn't bite the queen.
You know. Let me tap the sign and say, remind everyone, this is a PG-13 game. No, just don't fight the queen.
By the Queen sounds like an amazing tabletop game.
Wow, great
Oh.
game. No, I think like, yeah, till like no, let's get back to where we were at. I have not been a squire. I would not be a squire. I am asking to help a foreign diplomat from a neighboring place to make himself feel more
Scrape.
comfortable. That's all.
I'm very comfortable. I could do a somersault in this. I think I turned to Hale. Could you do a somersault in your dress?
Hale does a somersault.
Oh my god.
And
Wow,
then
that's
crashes against the
cool.
wall. I
Okay,
am
me now.
athletic.
Oh my god. Clunk, clunk, clunk.
Just people in dresses and full suits of armor.
I do a somersault across the length of this room, basically, with full plate armor.
Jaziel's like
The
head is in
sound
their
is
hand.
terrible. Hail applauds.
I don't think it's that bad, though. It's like it's like a, it's just like a kind of, the clunk happens all at once as opposed to like a big jangle.
This is silly.
I don't make comments about your jewelry jangling all around, do I?
I do not wear much jewelry. It would be poor choice of mine to demonstrate.
You're wearing the horns.
That is a sign of power. Not.
But you couldn't do a
and
somersault with horns. I don't suppose that would be safe.
I
didn't know you
not
needed
that
to wear a sign of power. I thought when you had power, you already had power. Oh well. Do what you need to do, my dear.
Jaziel just like wants to fight you, but is like, no.
Victoria, can you do a somersault?
It is not very proper to do a somersault in
Well, it's not proper if
can
you're the
you?
only one doing it. If everyone does it, it's proper.
I don't think there's enough space for all of us to do it here.
Yes, I'm very tall. This room is very small. I don't think I'll have enough space.
I'll catch you.
I'll throw you.
We are not throwing people.
That's not.
I will not have people throwing each other in this small room. And they like stomp their foot lightly.
This is a fair point. Jaziel, you're smaller. You should do it first.
I'm not. You cannot. Do not toss me. I am not tossable.
I'll do a somersault, I mean.
I can't.
You can't?
No. Somersaults are fun things. Typically.
Well, yeah, that's why you should do them.
It is a funeral.
And somersaults are fun.
No, they're not funerals. They are not. I don't like your pun.
It's not a punneral after all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No. It's not. It
But didn't it look great when we did those somersaults?
sounded horrendous. I'll bet the gods are crying.
Well, that just seems appropriate for a funeral for a beloved king, doesn't it?
I think funerals are supposed to be sad, not painful. Well, I mean, not like, you know what I mean.
You
Not
are
physically
pain?
painful.
He was your uncle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was my uncle. I'm in emotional pain. Well, I was in physical pain earlier, thanks, Victoria.
You talked. I said to be silent.
You did
You
talk.
didn't.
It was so long.
It was like 15 minutes.
That's so long. Well, now what?
Well,
Well, I got
wait.
nothing other. Yeah. You could do somersaults. So the offer is open. I'll get out of the way.
I'm not doing
I'll be quiet if you do a
Hale climbs
somersault.
up onto the chest and gestures.
what? Oh, up on the drawer thing.
Yeah, making room for you.
I'm not doing this. This
I
is
think
silly.
I sit on top of the toppled. I sit on top of the toppled wardrobe. No, I do like that. I lounge on top of the toppled wardrobe.
Yes.
Yes.
Plate mail, ridiculous long hair.
Well, the hair is tied back into what you realize is like a sevenfold bun.
So what role will you all have in this? Are you giving a speech?
I have one prepared. I'm not sure if they'll ask me to give one.
I'm sure you can give one if you knew the king and want to say something about his rule.
I didn't know the king as such, but I do have opinions about his rule.
You should definitely speak.
You should speak, but it should be kind, you know.
Generous.
Yes,
Flattering.
very flattering. Again, my uncle was such a kind man.
Of course, I'll definitely make sure to mention that as I name drop him at the start of my speech.
He was very good at athletics. Did you know?
Oh, how good!
Very good. Very, very
Would
good.
he have done a somersault?
He could have done somersaults around all of you.
It's true. There's only 3 people who've ever beaten me at the grappling,
Mm-hmm.
and people said I let him win because he was the king, but I didn't let him win. He won.
Wow.
Wow!
You should tell the crowd. That's a good, cute story. That the king
Maybe.
bested you.
I wouldn't say bested. I suppose I would. He was a bear of a man.
Yes.
Enormous, I've
indeed.
heard.
A true bear.
They had to resize the throne for him.
This was PG-13.
No. We've done
By
really
a
good
true
with
bear, we mean an actual bear.
Oh, of course,
precisely.
A gigantic bear wearing a crown. We're playing Honey Heist now.
a bear, but no biting.
Okay.
A bear which does not bite. Only honey. Yes. He was a great man. You should, like I said, you should tell that story. I plan
I'll
to
tell
tell
the story.
stories like that.
What stories will you tell?
You like I said
think-
before.
Jazil, in this moment,
yes.
like the story you were thinking about, you forget about.
Oh my god.
You can't remember
Yeah.
it all of a sudden.
Oh no. Yeah. I let you do magic on me.
Yeah.
Oh no. I have a whole speech written out. I can't remember right now, but I have it all written down. I'll just read it because I have a feeling when I get up there I'm going to be really emotional.
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't that sort of undercut the emotion a little bit if you're reading from a piece of paper?
No, because I was very emotional when I wrote it. It's stained with my tears. It's
Is it
important.
legible?
It is. I like definitely take it out of the pocket and I'm like, yeah, it's
Can I
legible.
see?
Don't damage it. And I think
sweetheart,
they
your
have covered.
handwriting is beautiful.
Thank you. I have
I think I
practiced
will
long
beat
and
it.
hard.
I think I
Huh?
look over Hale's shoulder.
Did you just say you eat it? Wait, what? No.
No, I said I read it.
Oh, I heard eat it. I was like, don't eat it.
Don't bite the paper.
Oh my god.
No biting.
No biting, no eating paper. No music and no drinking.
I point sections of interest out to Crispin as I'm reading, and you're looking over my shoulder.
Hmm.
Mm.
That makes sounds of
Oh,
interest.
this will play well.
Mm.
They're gonna eat this up.
No, hopefully they don't. I mean, hopefully they understand. My love for the king was real, and his love for all of you was also real. This is why I will be a great leader, because I will follow in his footsteps. At least temporarily, but maybe permanently.
What's that supposed to mean?
Perhaps the child decides to step down and name myself the leader.
And if not?
Oh, Sweetheart, you shouldn't say that in public. It's a bit improprietous.
Yeah,
It's
someone
okay
might be
between
listening
us,
in
we're
on us.
friends. But, I mean, you don't want to be accused of having undue influence over this little thing.
No, not like that.
The king's just a baby.
Yes, the king is a baby, and I am the baby's regent.
Well, yeah, you know what they say about regents.
No. Well, I'm almost the regent. And they smile slightly.
Presumptuous.
I just have to wait until the ceremony. That's all.
Unless they decide to name to name another regent.
They won't.
It's really in the hands of the gods, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you cast an augury yet? Victoria?
No. Oh, Victoria?
Oh, yes, of course. I've paid many messages to the gods about Jazil included. Did that ritual, didn't we?
We did. And how did it went well, right?
Yes, it went well. I mean, we talked
Minus.
a bit too much,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I mean, I paid the price for that, right? Already. And
Yeah.
they touched their forehead
I'm
again.
sure you did.
Yeah.
Of course.
So when do we get out of here?
It can't be that
Well,
long
you're
now.
supposed.
Soon, right?
I'd
It has
really
to be
think you'd
soon.
know.
I know, but I wasn't paying attention to the time. I should check outside. I should check outside?
You should check outside.
Um,
Just be quiet. You don't want anyone to catch you.
yeah. Last time
Go
you
on,
said there
then.
were people by the door. And
Did I say
you
that?
said there were ducks outside.
I think I kind of get up from my lounging position. I just kind of sit up and look out the window and go, yes, still ducks out there.
Hale also gets up and looks out the window, and then nods.
Do you think they'll clear the ducks away by the time it's time for us to leave?
Well, there are a few more of them out there now, so I'm not sure they would have much luck in clearing them away. Besides, people feed them all the time. They're impossible to get rid of, from what I understand. They don't even fly away
bad luck
anymore.
to
They just
shoo
stick
away,
around all
no?
winter.
And they have 6 wings, right?
No, that's just 3 ducks.
Oh, right. Do they always come in sets of 3?
The ominous ones do.
The ominous. How many are there out there?
It's funny that
Maybe
3 are the
10.
ominous ones. There's 3 of us in here with you. Different
What do you
omen,
mean?
though. We're here to support you.
Are you calling yourselves ducks?
Never.
We'd never do that.
That would be bad luck.
It sounds like
Having
you're
3
calling
ducks in here
yourselves
with you.
ducks.
Bad luck.
I may have to send one of you away then if you are the 3 ducks of bad omen.
my immortal flock cannot withstand a bad omen from
Well, very
3
much,
dogs.
really.
Yes. Who would you send away then, Jesse?
I'm sorry?
Who of us would you send away then, Jesse?
Oh. You should decide amongst yourself.
Oh no, you're the host. It's
Yes.
your honor guard.
I mean,
It's
you're
really
gonna
not
be ruling
appropriate
this
for us to
kingdom
make
soon, won't you?
decisions.
You will be ruling this kingdom soon. You must make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I had to choose from this room,
Which you do.
I would send Crispin away.
Oh, just because I'm the foreigner.
No, that is not why.
What happened to building bridges?
This is not why. I offered to help you already. Because Victoria and I already did a ceremony, ritual, and Hale and I also did a ceremony.
Hail
So-
the eclipse.
Yeah, and
Hey, you
I
gave me
think
the sash.
I did. I lent it to you. You made your own sash. I did help you make that sash. You're right.
You consecrated it as part of as part of House DeLaystone's holdings.
Okay,
You
well
did
in
consecrate it.
that case, the last of you would have been Hale then. So then I would have to send Hale away first. Sorry, Hale. Just because you were the last one to perform a ritual with me.
Really?
I
mean,
I
you
think-
would want to send me away. You don't really want that kind of a reminder at a funeral, do you?
No. But no. But if you are the 3 ducks, I cannot allow your bad energy, your bad, to get into my flock.
Well, I can't argue with that logic.
It is impeccable.
Yes. Impeccable. Good word.
What do you think, Victoria?
I think it sounds like traditions I'm not used to. Sure, if that's what you believe in. You're, after all, the ruler.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, you will be. Probably.
Yes.
Don't want to jinx you.
No, of course.
There is no such thing as jinx when it comes to divine gifting.
There's exactly a thing such as jinx when it comes to divine gifting.
No, only if you are talking against the gods. That's all.
Or if you assume that the gods are always on your side. That's literally what hubris is.
Oh, that's true. They don't like that.
Yeah.
Especially
Well,
when they've
no.
made their wishes clear.
And this is why you do more praying, and this is why you have to work harder.
Is that really all you have to do?
And be kind to the people. And make sure that the roads are clear. And
And that the waters are calm.
yes, and that the water, well, that one's more difficult.
And then there's not, and they look outside the window, a dozen ducks in front of your church.
Yes. That would not be pleasant. We can clear them out. I can make a place for the ducks. That the ducks can stay and live happily where we don't have to. I could do
You
that.
invite them in?
Yes,
I mean,
but also
you're
but quarantine
Braver
them.
than I.
Yes, I am very brave. Our house is very brave and noble.
It's good that you tell us.
Well, you asked, sort of. You sort of brought it up. How come you don't tell us about your house, why your house should be thought of so kindly?
Well, I mean, I don't know that you especially cared what our house should be thought of when you took the crown.
No, see, this is... You just keep laying claim to some historical, ancient pastime. That doesn't... You can't just say, oh, it was mine, and therefore it should be
My
mine.
great-grandmother.
Uh-huh. It's not you.
It's not historical.
It
Your
is
uncle is not
historical.
you.
No, but we are devout.
And if we're talking about
Really?
history,
That's
we
why
should
there's
also...
dogs.
If we're talking about history, we should also remember the crown first.
That's true. Who did have the crown first?
Well, House Entire, of course.
This is silly.
Yeah, none of this really matters. You know what
None
matters?
of it matters. The past does not matter like that.
Yeah, what matters is keeping the
past
ducks
does
away.
not
You know who has the
matter.
best track record of that? House Lunest.
Uh-huh. For what?
You know how many ducks there are in Resh? None. Haven't been there for generations.
I do not believe that the ducks are divine. They are just an omen. Do you
Exactly.
believe that the ducks are divine?
I mean, we keep them away well enough. Whether that's because of the will of the divine or maybe we're just that great, I feel like at a certain point the difference becomes moot.
Regardless, I don't see anything about your house, Hale, that would make me think that you would be a good leader.
That's okay, dear. You don't have to.
I mean, you are advocating for biting people. I just don't understand.
I was just killing time.
Well, you shouldn't say the words like kill at a funeral.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a feud gathering that we can all come to.
No. Also, I just don't see what's so good about your houses that you think that you should be leaders. That's all.
No.
I haven't heard a single good argument besides, oh, it was in the past, and therefore I should have it again. I don't understand. You've told me nothing about what you would do.
That a baby has the divine right to rule. A baby cannot wear a crown. A baby cannot hold a scepter. A baby has no divine right.
This is
If your
why
house
I
still
will be
held the favor
regent.
of the gods, you wouldn't need a regent. You'll be a fine regent for your house.
I know. Still doesn't answer my question, though. What's so
I'm
good
not
about
really
your house?
answerable to you.
Well, we have nothing but time.
Actually, I don't think that's accurate. I think I hear
I know, right?
somebody coming.
I got our timer. When does our timer due? It's like,
1 minute 51.
oh my god, 2 minutes left. Well, Jazeel does not know
I think
that, and
Hale
so
just-
Jazeel just keeps saying, we have nothing but time.
Come then, press your claim.
I did. We
You think
maintain
you
the
have a divine
roads.
right?
We take care of the people. We feed people.
You don't.
We
feed
make
people in the
offerings to the
South.
divine.
You don't maintain the roads in the South. Your offerings are paltry.
You should make sure that we know about it. That's your responsibility. Let us know.
Should they send a
We
letter?
We cannot help you if you don't tell us.
We don't need usurpers' help.
We are not the usurpers. You cannot usurp what God has given.
It feels like we're at an impasse here, so I'm going to say that you absolutely can usurp what God has given, and I intend to do it.
You
Well-
will not. You cannot.
Just put. I mean, you will not, but I
Yes.
appreciate your moxie.
You will
Thank
not
you.
either, Hale.
Oh, I won't be usurping anything.
That's right.
I have no interest in usurpation. I will be taking my crown back,
No. You will not.
but you will be an excellent regent for your house, and you will always be welcome in my court.
It is my court. This is... I cannot believe all of you.
I thought it was your nephew's court.
No, it will be mine. But there's...
Wow.
Shut up!
You all heard this? You all heard this.
This sounds like
It will be
treason
whose court?
almost.
Whose court will it be? Whose court?
It will be my court.
And there's a knock on the door because the timer just went.
I love it.
Hmm.
And so, our time is
Oh.
up and we are allowed to leave.
The hold of the finest is has lifted from us.
Oh my god. You are allowed to leave. Once everyone leaves, the game ends and you may launch into the game you originally intended to. Oh my gosh. Wow. How do we all leave? Who leaves the room first?
Well, I've
Does
limbered
leave
up,
the
so I think I
room first?
sprint for the door.
I was probably towards the back, like away from the. I'm very angry now. Like they're fuming and not ready to give a sentimental speech.
Hale is very pleased with herself then. Job well done.
I think Victoria also nods towards Hale, like, good job.
I
God,
think
this is gonna be the best
Hale goes
funeral
to
ever.
leave the room and shakes Victoria's hand on her way out and says, "It's always lovely to see you," and she leaves,
I think
whistling.
Jazeel, like, despite being the one who really wanted to leave, is like lingering and like very frustrated with themselves and very frustrated with the others, and is like, this can't happen, and like resolved like to try to not let that, and leaves the room.
And I think when you're walking outside of the room, all of a sudden, like, 3 dogs start following you for some reason.
They just kind of
Oh my
tumble into
God.
the window.
I'm just followed by ducks forever now. Just 3 ducks following me. Perfect. Great game though. I love this game. It was really fun.
This is a fantastic word. Okay. Dismally oriented in the chat says, "Baby can have a little crown as a treat."
That's amazing. Yes. Amazing. So yeah. Oh, please name the ducks. What do you name the ducks? Oh no, the pressure to name ducks. What are they called? Does anyone have good duck names?
I mean, they're
I mean, if you
clearly
have
the
3
immortal
bad
flock.
I mean, you could name them after us.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
3
no.
bad luck ducks following you.
You're right. I would have to name them after like wow. Maybe but like shortened. So like I don't know, like Tori Hale's already quite short. Maybe Tori Ale and Ben. Tori Ale and Ben. The ducks. The cursed bad omen duck things. Wow, good names. So yeah, that was the finest. Is there a place you want to plug to pick it up?
Yeah, it's on gm36.itch.io, and that's the only place that it is.
Cool. Do you have any plugs for yourself?
Say Mitch, and also my co-author Fnifsitch, who has like which is fnif.itch.io. I think she's also on Instagram, fnif01.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the 2 plugs for her work that I can do. She has like 2 other games that she made on her own, but I collaborate frequently with her. And she was actually the one who wrote down this game.
Nice.
And then I think I
Yes.
did the final edit on it.
Nice. Feel free to put
This
a
game
link or
is
something
beautiful.
in the chat.
Yeah, it's I love that it works so well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was like, I wonder how it'll go with our 1 room for 3 hours together, but I think it works. Really
We had a
well.
lot of bickering.
So much bickering. I loved it.
So much.
So catty. So yeah, if y'all enjoyed the game, feel free to pick it up, try it for yourself at some point. Again, we are raising money for Basis. Again, I'm always going to be. My pronunciation is. But we can provide a link if you click the donate link. It will take you to the donation page. All the proceeds go to the charity, and they are helping immigration in the United States because the whole situation is really bad. And it's people
I
providing
didn't use
legal
my
help.
swear, so can I say that the situation is fucked?
Yeah, yes, you can. I was almost gonna copy you, but then I lent you my swear, so you're welcome to swear twice. Yes,
It is, in fact, extremely fucked.
It's very much that. Yeah, so if you go donate, I think we're still, I don't know where we are with the donations, 303 right now. So yeah, if you don't feel like you need to, if you don't, obviously, some cannot donate just at any time, but if you can pitch a few bucks in, that would be awesome. Otherwise, we are going to be gaming for until the midnight on Monday. So lots and lots and lots of games. Check out the @RollPlusBond on Twitter to find the schedule and tweets and stuff about it. My personal plug, I guess, would be my Twitter, which is @TheMostMagical, Cole being COLE. Yeah, do you all have other plugs?
You can find some video games that I at feypeters.h.io. Peters, I'll just spell it out because FEYPEETERS.h.io, and there I have some games, including a Secret Samol game that so yeah.
Woo!
Brilliant.
Fun. Very fun.
Yeah, so my Twitter is @BotherShelf. And if you want to buy this game, then you could go to itch and buy it. But instead I would advise you put your money toward Raíces instead.
Yeah,
They probably need more than I do.
I guess that leaves me. My name is Ada. I played the incorrigible Hal Harper, who was the worst, quite successfully the worst. You can find me on Twitter @Recombinatrix, and you can find my new game Yeet or Beat. It's available for pay what you want, so don't pay me, pay racers. You can find that at recombinatrix.itch.io if you want to play a game about throwing dice in the park with your friends.
It sounds amazing. I'm also gonna find the you have it, is that on itch.io?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Oh, there it is. I found it. So I'm just I'm throwing these links in the chat so that if anyone wants to check them out, feel free. So yeah, and then the music during downtime was provided by Devin on the Bandcamp. I will put that also here. And yeah, thanks y'all. Looks like we're kind of finishing 10 minutes early, which is probably all right, if that's cool with everyone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did set that timer on purpose.
Oh, for sure. Also, at the end of your games, make sure that you take care of yourself. So get some water, get some rest, maybe walk away from the computer for a second. Just do what you need to do to get back on track. And thanks for playing, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You were a great group.
Brilliant.
Yeah, same.
This was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you all.
Same. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Until next time.
Until next time.